Hello everyone, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is Prehistoric Facts special episode number 153. We're going to be talking about a ceratopsian dinosaur, horned dinosaur, and that dinosaur is Nasutoceratops. And so here's a picture of Nasutoceratops. This is a possibility of what it looked like. It's a fascinating dinosaur in my opinion. So some information about Nasutoceratops. The name Nasutoceratops means large nose face. Length is 14.8 feet or 4.5 meters. Height is 6 feet, approximately 2 meters. Weight 1 to 2 tons, 2,000 to 4,000 pounds. Lived 80 to 75 million years ago in the late Cretaceous period. Now, when you see this MA, that means millions of years ago. That's what geologists actually use for labeling like millions of years. There's a different one for a billion years, but so you get the idea. I used to use MYA, but this time I'm going to use the actual geological abbreviation for millions of years ago. So that's what MA stands for. And Nasutoceratops was actually found in Utah in the United States and was found by Scott Sampson in 2003 and described by Scott Sampson. So on the upper left corner here in the map of the United States, and here is the state of Utah, which is in the Rocky Mountain state, one of the Rocky Mountain states. It's right next to Colorado and Nevada, sandwiched in between those two states. And that's where Nasutoceratops was actually found. And in this upper right corner, there's a size chart of Nasutoceratops, and so Nasutoceratops is a pretty good size for a ceratopsian. And below, this is a skeleton of Nasutoceratops. Not a lot of the skeleton has been found. So bits of the partial skull, or nearly complete skull, I should say. One couple of neck vertebrae, some of the shoulders. You got the humerus and the radius and ulna, but then that's it. You don't actually have anything else. So this is probably between a 10 to 20% skeleton that was actually found. So who knows what other parts of Nasutoceratops would actually look like, but they probably actually use different types of ceratopsian dinosaurs to fill in the gaps for the other bones that were missing. So more information about Nasutoceratops. Since Nasutoceratops is a ceratopsian, so all the horned dinosaurs are considered to be ceratopsians. And Nasutoceratops actually has a large curved beak. That's what actually gives it large nose face, is that it has this enormously large beak. And so it seems to be a little bit larger than Triceratops beak. And so could this mean that Nasutoceratops actually probably had a much powerful bite than Triceratops? It's a possibility. Probably could snap off branches much thicker than like my arm, which is pretty good, which is pretty decent size for an arm. So probably could actually bite off branches as thick as probably maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger's arms. You know, that's probably that's pretty big. And Nasutoceratops does not have a nose horn, so does not have a nose horn. But the brow horns, it does have brow horns, and those brow horns curve inward. So they kind of start going away from this, kind of going like away from the sides, and then all of a sudden starts curving inward. So they almost look like a Texas Longhorn, sort of say, because Texas Longhorns or even a bull would actually look that way, or even like a Cape Buffalo. Cape Buffalo almost actually have those kinds of horns. But Nasutoceratops has probably used its horns for display and for defense purposes as well. And it was a medium-sized ceratopsian, so it's not technically really large like Triceratops or Torosaurus, or even like say other types of ceratopsians like Pentaceratops. But yeah, it's medium-sized, and of course all ceratopsians are herbivores, so they'll be eating plants. the environment and where Nasutoceratops actually lived, it was a warm and humid climate. There was a lot of ferns, cycads, trees, and flowers. Flowers were pretty dominant at that particular time. There was no grass, of course, because there was no grass during the time of the dinosaurs. You had your rivers and lakes around that type of environment. And there were other animals that were actually around too, like insects, amphibians, reptiles, birds, pterosaurs, mammals, and of course other dinosaurs. Now, the predators that Nasutoceratops actually did come into contact with, mostly tyrannosaurs. So, like Bistaheversor, Bistaheversor would have been must have been a very big adversary for Nasutoceratops, and probably early on, Lithernax. Lithernax was pretty much around during the time of Nasutoceratops, but I think the most common Tyrannosaur that's actually going to face is Bistaheversor. Lithernax kind of came into the frame of a little bit early, but it actually was around when Nasutoceratops was actually kind of in its beginning of its time. The extinction of Nasutoceratops was mostly due to climate change. So the plants were changing, and of course, the temperatures kind of almost stayed the same, but it was actually more likely that it rose probably to like a degree, but if you go towards like say Canada, it's actually going to be a little bit cooler. Of course, there were new predators coming in, and the plants were changing. And so the new predators were basically like more raptor dinosaurs and also new tyrannosaurs. And of course, new ceratopsians, since there were a lot of ceratopsians in Lauramidia, which is that western part of North America, during that time, 75 million years ago, would have actually been a lot of ceratopsians to actually have to compete for the remaining food sources. And so that's why you probably have a lot of ceratopsians coming in, and also Nasutoceratops kind of became obsolete. And so here's a map of North America during 75 million years ago, and you can see the Western Interior Seaway, which is this big honking seaway that split North America in somewhat three, and you actually see Lauramidia, which is this western part of North America, and Utah is actually just located right there in the southwestern part of that part of the United States during that time. And so yeah, that's pretty much how that kind of happened. And the Western Interior Seaway around 75 million years ago was beginning to retreat. So the next episode will actually be on May 15th, 2020, and there'll be an extra episode. I'll let you guys know what kind of stay tuned for what kind of paleontology topic I'll be talking about. So stay tuned for that. And if you got any questions about about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinocris71@gmail.com, or just go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you actually post your questions in the comment section or even on the wall. And also for you YouTubers out there, like the video, share the video, and subscribe, and hit that bell so you can get notified about all the latest videos that are going to be coming each week. And also put your questions in the comments section, and so that way I can see it. And please make sure you actually have 2 to 3 questions in one comment, so that way I can actually read that. And if you put like 2 to 3 questions at a time in each comment, like multiple times, I can't answer them all. I actually have to limit the amount of questions. But also remember to keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. It's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you. And also, for younger people out there, to make sure listening to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians is the best motivation you can have for a good education. It's very important to have good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. And also, let's actually thank all the doctors and the nurses and the first responders and even people that are working in essential businesses that are actually doing everything they can to actually make sure that everybody is actually healthy, and also they're on the front lines. And taking care of a lot of people in this particular kind of time, and all that. So thank you to all the doctors, nurses, and first responders, and even all to the essential business, all the employees in essential businesses. And also go out and check out Colossal Fossils, and the link will be in the description down below, and so you can check that out. And also, if you want to donate to Colossal Fossils, feel free to go ahead and hit the donate tab. Donate as much as you want, because we're a small business and we do need a little bit of help to actually make sure that we can actually get as much as we can to actually put into the museum once we do get back open, and hopefully you guys can contribute, because a lot of small businesses, a lot of museums do need some help, because especially the small museums, because they're not backed by having a lot of money in that is saved for reasons like that, because for trying to get some things and all that sort of stuff. But we're a nonprofit and we do need a little bit of help. So please do hit the donate tab and donate as much as you need, as much as you want. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.